Hi, all, and welcome to Monday night's All Meta Mode podcast with Gypsy and myself, Amanda Digger-DeGaz. Before we get started with tonight's show, just a reminder, DirtDigestMagazine.com, April's issue drops Thursday. Can't wait to check that out. I know there's an interview with me, myself, and I. Yay! And then I know Gypsy wrote an article on beach detecting. So that should be pretty exciting. So on Thursday, definitely go give DirtDigestMagazine.com a glance and check out April's issue. Oh, Lord. Today's been one of those days. Hey, Gypsy, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Better probably than you today after what you told me, shared with me. Yeah, so Amanda was out digging today, and I'm going to let her take it from here.
So let's see. I'll start off with Friday and Saturday. I got out a bunch. On Saturday, I went to one of my favorite creek walking spots that it's right near a dam, down at the bottom, and then there's embankments that are all trees that are coming out of the old mill that was there. I found a dump. So I constantly go there and see what might have washed out and come out in the soil and basically is coming down the hill. And now that the leaves have been blowing around, and I keep finding cufflinks there. So I'm calling it Cufflink Hill. Well, at lunch today, we've had wind. We've had wind. And they said we were supposed to have really, really bad gusts. But at lunchtime, I was like, it's not that bad out. I'm going to go see because it downpoured all day yesterday. And I knew I had scratched a few places, so I'm like, ooh, I wonder if anything new's popped out. So I decided to go to my little spot on the hill underneath gigantic trees. I broke my first rule. I didn't tell anybody where I was going. I didn't tell anybody I had even gone anywhere. So that was my first mistake. My second mistake was when they say that there's going to be gusts of 60 to 65, 75 miles an hour, you probably don't want to be under gigantic trees, especially after it's rained all day the day before. So I had just pulled out this really neat, I don't even know what it is. It's so cool. And then I had found a lock plate for a door, and I heard a crack. And the crack, when the trees are cracking, just the crack gets the hair on the back of your neck to stick up, and your adrenaline starts to go. And I looked up, and I heard the coming down of a tree. So I have never beat feet faster, running up these cement walls, they're not cement, they're marble walls, the big that you see in foundations that are kind of toppled over, jumping around trees. And this thing landed basically right on top of where I would have been on the hill. And then it was domino effect, and it was just one crack after another, and it was probably one of the scariest things I've ever. I felt like I was in a movie. It was not good. It was not good. So I got back to my truck. I got out of the tree lines and got back to my truck and got in my truck and basically trying to breathe, wondering if I need to go home and change my pants. And the truck was actually shaking. That's how bad these gusts were. It felt like I was in an earthquake. I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, it was not fun. So 2 lessons. 1, I need to stick to my rule of telling people where I'm going. And 2, when there's, massive windstorm, don't go play in the trees. So that was...
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, that is crazy. That would have scared... I would have probably had a heart attack. My heart would have jumped into my throat for sure.
It really... I was shaking so bad. I know I turned around and this giant tree fell basically right where the only entrance and exit up the hill is. So, I think tomorrow's supposed to be calm and relatively sunny. So I'm going to go back and actually see how much damage just to go, oh my gosh, I'm guardian angels or something. because
Yeah, somebody's watching over you for sure.
Because it was scary.
Oh, that is so scary.
Yep, so that's my story for the evening.
Well, that neat little thing you dug, I saw a photo of that. That has a neat design on it. I don't know what it is either, but it's cool.
Yeah.
At least you dug it up before the trees crashed. So.
I know.
But sorry that you got scared out of your wits.
Yep.
Close call. At least you're safe. That's the important thing.
Yeah, so. Exactly.
Whew, yeah. But yeah, I got out. I only got out once this last week. I got out, I think, just once. No, gosh, I can't keep up. I did get out yesterday and went with some friends from a metal detecting club in East Texas, and we went to an old ghost town. And we only detected the portion of the ghost town that's on this man's property, private property, and he had given us permission. And he did tell us we could come back anytime. And he got tired of waiting on us. So he left early and just said, just make sure you shut the gate when you leave. And I was going to give him, sorry, my ear pods are falling out, axe head that I dug kind of for something he could hang, somewhere on his wall. He said he had a license plate that he hung, I guess, in his shop that he had found on the property. And I was going to give him that axe head that I dug yesterday, but it was great. I ended up with all kinds of buttons. I ended up with a silver ring that's marked sterling. I ended up with just lots of little cool little things. I think one of my favorite things I dug was it's a little bull charm thing that says Bull Durham on it. So Bull Durham tobacco.
It's awesome.
So that was cool. And, but yeah, that video will be coming soon. I'm trying to get photos from the other people that hunted to get their photos in too, because I only filmed just a few people. One of the ladies that was there digging with us, she found a really neat heel plate. I've never seen one like this. It's a little bigger than a lot of the heel plates that I've seen, and it has a star in the center, but it's a tiny star. So, really neat looking.
Like a normal size heel plate, or like a kid size heel plate?
I would say it's bigger than the. I would say bigger than the heel plates that I've seen people dig. Like I've seen a lot of people dig the ones that were kind of in the Civil War type, era, but I'm really not sure about this one. When I put up the video, you'll see. I'll try to do a size comparison or something. See if I can find another one online like it. But really neat finds. And the owner of the property happens to know the people that on the property where the old train station was, and he's going to work on getting us permission to go to that. So
that's awesome.
Fingers crossed I'll get to go hunt that as well. They were warning us, though, and I didn't wear my snake boots yesterday, that there were snakes everywhere. Luckily, I didn't see any, but it's getting to be snake weather here for sure.
No thanks.
That's Texas for you. Well, hey, we've got a great guest tonight. Unfortunately, we had two guests tonight, but there was a family emergency, so tonight it's just Pete. So let's welcome in our guest, Pete Sorrell, and welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's my pleasure to come on. I've listened to you guys for a couple of years now, and I've really enjoyed your show, so I'm glad to finally make it on and have a chat with you guys.
Awesome. I know we tried before, and we were having some difficulties.
Every system issue ever. Yeah.
And that was that went on for a couple weeks. We finally ironed it out. But anyway, it's glad to finally have you on here. And if you don't mind, just tell us a little bit about yourself, Pete, maybe how you got into metal detecting and where you live, that kind of thing.
Yeah, sure. So I'm from upstate New York. I've been detecting for over 10 years now. I actually started when I was in college. I was looking up, what was I looking up? Detective, I think, on YouTube or something. And, this was the 2000, oh God, it had to be 2006. And I was looking up detective on YouTube, and it, autocorrect, the lovely thing it is, typed in the word detecting, and all of these videos started popping up, and I'm like, oh, this looks interesting. And I'd always been a big fan of history. I'm a big history lover, and I basically wasted a whole afternoon. I say wasted, but in my mind it wasn't wasted, watching videos of people dig up history, and I said, you know what, I can do that. And so I took my $7 an hour job. I was working on campus and saved up my money until I could afford a banana yellow Garrett Ace 250.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So tell us about
that was my first. Go ahead.
Tell us about some of the first things you found with your Ace 250.
Oh man, it was an adventure. So I went to a public college in New York State. So it's a part of it's called the SUNY system, State University of New York. So they have them all over the state. The one that I was at had started in like 1908. So I knew there was some good stuff out there. And, so my first find ever, which was pretty neat, and I still have it to this day. I kind of cherish it as the cool, one of the first cool things I ever dug was on our campus, there's a, what do they call it? An arboretum where they plant all these different types of trees. And, it's been started in probably the teens or the 20s. And I found out that in the 1930s, Governor Roosevelt, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, had actually visited the campus, and they picnicked in the arboretum when it was young, when it was just small trees. And beside one of the big oak trees in our arboretum, I actually found a spoon, probably from the 30s, silver-plated, and on it said New York State, which made me believe that it was probably from the delegation of Governor Roosevelt's party.
That's awesome.
Cool. That is really neat.
It was a really neat experience. Yeah, it was one of those things that really, I probably dug a few coins up to that point, maybe, regular nickels, dimes, and quarters. And when I dug that, I was like, oh, my goodness, I have no idea what this is, but I'm pretty dang excited about it. And I basically, from then on, I was hooked. I worked my way from, I probably found enough change on the college property in the first year to buy an AT Pro, which I did a year later. And then I just kind of kept working my way up the machine levels. I was always a big fan of Garrett. They're great machines. They do a great job with their customer service. And anybody that asked me in those early days what machine to get, I was like, get a Garrett. That's the one to get. Anything, they'll do right by you. And I had a Garrett AT Pro for probably 2 or 3 years. And then I went to England, and then everything changed for me.
Right. What was your favorite find with your AT Pro? Do you have a favorite find with your AT Pro?
So I'd have to say, I know it's not super special, but, here on the East Coast, everybody's excited about large scents. And my first large scent holds a special place in my heart. And that was an 1822 matron head large scent. And I found it at a friend's home, that they let me detect the yard. But that was I don't know if that was my favorite find, but it's definitely up there because, you always remember one of the first items you dig, or, and that was my first large scent. So I was pretty darn excited about that.
That's cool. Now, tell everybody what you use now, and tell us about some of your favorite finds with that machine.
So for the last 5 or 6 years, actually it's probably 6 years now, after my trip to England, there was a gentleman over there, and I don't know if my batteries died in my AT Pro or something, and we were way out in the middle of a field, but a kind gentleman came up to me and says, I have a spare machine. He says, would you like to try it out? And I said, sure. And it was this newfangled thing called the XP Deus. And I had never seen one of these before. I'd never even heard of it. It's this fancy machine from France, and I'm like, I'll never be able to afford one of these. And I got my hands on it, and my life changed forever. I want to say it did, but it certainly it turned out to be the machine that I was like, that's the one I want. That's the next one. And so that was in September. And by Christmas that same year, I had one under the tree that I saved up all my pennies for, worked a bunch of overtime just to get, and I've been using that ever since. And I'm on XP Team USA, kind of as a figurehead, I guess, at this point. There's a lot of people that do a lot of great things over there. I just really enjoy working with those guys. Gary Blackwell from the UK, Dave DiNatale, Sonia Harshman, all of those guys, RC Dunn, all those guys over on XP Team USA. They got a great group, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. I've always wanted to be part of, something where my hobby would become, a big part of my life, and it really has. Kind of like you, Gypsy, with Garrett, and Amanda for a while. You were associated with White's, right, Amanda?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, so I mean, you guys know how special that is to be, to have that sort of, metal detecting family, when it comes to that thing. It's really fun. It's really, really great part of this hobby.
You're absolutely correct. It is.
For sure. That's exciting. So tell us about some of the places or some of the things that you've found with your Deus.
Oh, boy. Well, it's just having it for 6 years, it's been a whirlwind experience. I've used many machines over the years, and I'll never knock another machine. It's just a preference, really. Everybody has their favorite. And, that's one of the things I've always been about. I won't say my machine's better than yours or that one's better than that one, because I've always been under the idea that it's a preference. Once you learn a machine, I could have a $200 machine and that guy could have a $6,000 machine. But if he's brand new to it and doesn't know how to use it, I may find more than that guy with that $6,000 machine. And it's just it's a preference. And anyways, that's besides the point. I found a lot of great things with it.
Right.
So one of my favorites came a couple of years ago now, and it's a coin that I didn't even have on my bucket list. It was so rare. I was in detecting with a couple of friends of mine in where were we? We were in Rhode Island. I had met these guys probably a month earlier at a class in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, and they invited me down to Connecticut and Rhode Island and Massachusetts to do some detecting. So I said, sure, I'll come down. So I stayed with those guys, and we hit a 1740s standing home in Rhode Island. And the gentlemen, they're like, oh, there's this little field across the road. We hit that for, 7 or 8 hours a couple weeks ago, but we never hit the main house and around the house. And so let's see if we can get permission there. So we got permission to the house. And, we're digging some cool things. A couple of large scents had come out. Silver, baby spoon, one of the guys had found. It was a good day. I found a 2-cent piece in the front yard. We were having a pretty good day, but we knew we had to leave by a certain point. One of our guys had to leave for the day. So I said, well, I'm just going to jump over to that little field that you guys hit the week before. And they said, okay, go ahead. And they're like, you might not find anything. And I said, oh, challenge accepted. And I love when people say that. It just kind of gives me the little bit more drive that I need to keep going. Anyways, I jumped into this little field, and my first 3 targets were cans, deep cans. I mean, I dug it sounded magical, like we all know. A lot of cans, deep cans, crumpled cans sound magical, especially on a Garrett, and then even on my dais, and I'm sure on a White's it's the same way. They fool all of us. So after the 3rd can, I said, well, I got to move away from the road a little bit. And so I kind of moved more into this field. It wasn't very big at all. And the next target I dug was a shoe buckle frame, a colonial shoe buckle frame at about 1 foot. And I said, ooh, wow. I said, well, I guess they didn't get it all. And so I just kind of kept moving my way in towards the middle of the field and, just kind of looking at my watch, seeing what time it was. We had to leave at 3 p.m. And so the next signal I dig was a flat button, a big flat button. And I was like, okay, so there's still stuff here. And then I'm just kind of wandering around, and I get one great last signal. And it sounded fairly similar to that first couple of cans that I had. And I'm like, oh, man. And I looked down at my watch, and it was like 2:50-something. And I was like, all right, well, this will be my last hole. And for a split second, like we all do, you think, maybe I should find something that's more, that sounds better, that I think is really going to be something good versus digging what this is most likely going to be a can. So as I just about to step over it and continue on for the last few minutes, I said, you know what, if I don't dig it and it's something great, I'll regret it forever, and somebody else comes along and digs it. So I said, okay, I'll dig it. So I dig the plug, I pop it out, I look down, and at the very bottom is this dark circular item. And I think it's a dandy. I thought it was a big Tomback dandy. And I'm like, oh, cool. So literally, I just put my hand in the hole, and I pull it up, and I get it about eye level. Right now, if you could see me, I'm doing this right now. And I pull it up to eye level, and I see the date 1652, and I dropped it back in the hole, and I screamed, a bloody murder. I never said, I said some expletives that I don't even know if they're in a book right now. I was hooting and hollering, and the guy that was with me, he goes, what are you doing? And he's like, calm down. He's like, did you find a copper? And then I yelled at him, like, do you think I'd be yelling like this if I found a copper? So we, they all come over and we all gather around. One of the other guys is on the other side of the road. He comes over, he goes, what'd you find, a copper? And I said, no, it's way better. And previously that night, as we were riding home, we were all joking, wouldn't it be great if we found, we call them tree coins, here in the Northeast. They're tree coins, they have the oak tree, the pine tree, So, we were all joking, about it, and isn't that the fate that we all, get into sometimes where you just have to speak its name and it comes true?
Yes.
And, And there it was. In the hole was a 1652 pine tree shilling, one of only 13 known for the variety that I found. And it was just incredible.
Holy moly. Wow. Did you do some cartwheels in the field, or were you too in shock?
My body was so devoid of energy after that initial burst, And, the whole time, you think to yourself, I'm not a big video guy. I don't video a lot of things. I like the thrill of the hunt and hunting with people and seeing everybody's reaction in real time. And, I've always been under the impression, man, I don't have time to set up a camera and everything. And I wish I had more often. And so, I said to the guys, I said, well, what do you want to do? I said, we tried videoing it like 4 or 5 times. And every time we would slip up and say a swear word, just because we were just in disbelief, at what we just uncovered. And, by the final one, I might have said, the S word, and, and I'm like, you know what? To heck with it. Just leave it in there. If somebody doesn't understand, the excitement that this is bringing, I was like, they'll never understand it anyway. So,
right.
Incredible. It was just incredible.
So Bill in chat says, "Watch out for that tree," and that makes me think of what happened to to Amanda this morning. And the tree, that's the wrong kind of tree, Amanda. You need to find the tree coin.
Yeah,
Thanks,
you need to get on one of those tree coins. They might be up there where you are.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Our town was, mid 1600s, so it could be good. Mid 1700s.
Definitely a possibility.
Yep. 1630, I think it was. So it would be good. It would be good. But yeah, you need to specify which tree.
Yeah.
Not the type of tree I had.
When you're visualizing it, that you're going to dig it, not one fall on you, that's for sure. Got to visualize the right one.
I'm sure we've all had those experiences where we've visualized it or said it. Sometimes everybody thinks, you almost have to just put it out there, just to make that.
Yeah.
Today I might find myself a seated coin. And then, one of your people in your group might find one, and it's just so funny how that happens. I know I'm not the only one. I've hunted with so many people where they've said the same thing. My white whale is a barber quarter, and then the next hunt, they get on a barber quarter, and it's just so funny how the world works that way,
Right. It is. And sometimes I just think it, and then boom, I'm like, man, I'm still looking for this,
right.
and
you don't even have to say it out loud.
Right. So Delaware County Diggers in chat is asking what machine you were using when you found that.
That was with my XP Deus. I've been detecting for 10 plus years, and now it's probably 6 years I've had the Deus. So the majority of my finds in the last 6 years have been with that machine. So that was with the XP Deus, along with so many countless things that, have been great. But again, I think, everybody's got their favorite machine, but I honestly, where we found that and the way I found it, I think anybody could have found it. A gentleman with a bounty hunter probably could have found that. And that's nothing against the bounty hunter. It was just, one of those targets you got to walk over. We all have those times where we're like, how did they get that? And I did it. Well, a lot of times it has nothing to do with the machine. It's just pure luck and circumstance, that you happen to walk over it before someone else did. And I think that was the case.
Right. Well, Sonia in chat just said she just did that about her cat bus she just found. So there you go. It works. I'm going to start doing that.
It will.
So I have to say, I know Gypsy and I had an absolute blast. Now it seems so long ago, but definitely looking forward to this fall's DIGSTOCK. So can you tell us a little bit more about the upcoming hunt?
Oh, yeah. So a couple years back, I was part of the Pound the Ground event team, and once we got done that, I decided to part ways with the Rhode Island Relics crew, and I talked to a bunch of people and my wife, who basically said, you should try this, and, she gave me support and everything to try something different. And I came up with the idea for the event called DIGSTOCK, basically as an event where everybody's equal and everybody comes in and can have a great time digging. We put folks on a decent property for an affordable price, and we show them a good time. And so that's how DIGSTOCK came about. And then I slowly started getting members, folks to work with me. I got Matt Jones out of North Carolina. He is his Instagram and YouTube name is Swamp Critter. Check out some of his stuff. And then we got ourselves a very good financial advisor. His name is Dave Lofgren. He is out of Central New York, and he does all of he makes sure we stay in line and he's a great guy, and we're all diggers, so I wanted to have a group of guys that I really enjoy digging with, the really smart people who've been in the hobby a long time, are fairly well respected, and we just got this group together and decided to do this DIGSTOCK thing, and so last fall was supposed to be our first event, as you well know. I know, Amanda, you were supposed to be there, and Gypsy, you were most likely going to be there as well. But we ended up, because of COVID, obviously, we had to change our plans fairly rapidly, and we canceled it long before October showed up. We ended up canceling it, I think, in May. Just to give, everything a chance to work its way through, which it didn't. So, so this event, we've tweaked it and changed it and improved upon a lot of the things that I saw as areas that needed to be changed. So when you do these events, people don't realize the scale of things that go into these things. And there's really a lot of work. It's probably about 8 to 9 months of planning before you even get to the point where the event happens. And so we had everything all set for October of last year. COVID hit, and I was like, we got to figure out what we're going to do. And, the excitement for what we were doing and the changes we had made to an event of this size, we had probably sold 280 tickets by May, and only about 20 to 30 of them wanted refunds. Everybody else was like, you know what? The heck with it. Roll me over. Yeah. And so I know, Amanda, you had a question about this the other day, and I'll just tell anybody, if you did not roll over your ticket, we posted it everywhere. We sent out emails. If you hadn't rolled over your ticket by December 31st, your ticket was automatically rolled over to the 2021 event. So if you had a ticket in 2020, you didn't ask for a refund, your ticket is still good for the 2021 event. And we'll actually be sending an email out later this week to everybody on our list stating that. I don't know if we have a lot of Canadian listeners that listen here, but your tickets are also good so long as the Canadian border opens up. And if not, we can make changes to that once we know more. But so DIGSTOCK 2021, we cut it down to, we initially had a number of 1,000 people. And that's pretty crazy. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been to a lot of events, but 1,000 people is a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. Hey, I've got a quick question for you, Peter. Are y'all going to be doing T-shirts or hoodies or hats or anything like that this year?
Yep. So we do. Is that somebody asked the question, or you're just curious yourself?
I'm just curious because I know that last time I had went, because I didn't sign myself up, I went with Garrett.
Right.
I didn't get one, and I was like, everybody had one. I'm like, I didn't get one, and I didn't know where I could go.
So, we're definitely, our planning committee kind of thing where we've got a bunch of us that work on this stuff. We've got a much better grasp on how all these things work for this go round. I know the last event that happened in New York, we ran out of stuff after the first night, and that wasn't good for anybody really, because there were so many people. I myself, one of the organizers, didn't even get a shirt. So
wow.
That's just to tell you that, that's how few that we planned to have on hand at the event. So, and I think that's something you got to think about too, is when we do these things, you have to make sure that we don't buy too many and don't sell all of them, or then we end up with, 40 shirts of a past event. So, but yes, we will make sure that there's plenty on hand. And actually, when you buy your ticket this year, if you go to our website, which Amanda's going to post in the chat room, www.digstockevents.com, you can actually find out just about anything you want to know about our event. I've been to so many events where I've either had not enough information, or the information that I was given was kind of bland, or I just didn't get the answers I was looking for. So I wanted to create an experience for people who wanted to come to our events and answer, or try to answer, as many questions as I could right on our website. So in doing so, if you go to our website, click on the DIGSTOCK 2021, you will find a plethora of information. I just wanted to say that word. So you will find just about anything you'll want to know about the event. You can read about the property. You can read about how we're going to plan things out a little bit. You can read about places to stay. You can read about places to eat. You can read about, things to see while you're in the area. And then you can also buy your ticket, fill out a liability waiver, and purchase your T-shirt right on the website, right under that same DIGSTOCK 2021 heading. And I think the T-shirts are under the gear, I think is what it's called. So if you click on DIGSTOCK 2021, the T-shirts, we do have sweatshirts for this event, which I do actually encourage, because it's October in New York and you never know what's going to happen.
Right. Last time it was so cold and I ended up getting sick, and
I brought, yeah.
The one day, I about got blown away with the wind. And, oh man, Amanda could tell you, she was out there digging with me, seeing me miserable.
I remember I bought a box of those hand warmers, like the giant ones, and was handing them out. So that
I'm bringing them this year.
Yep.
I'm bringing them this year. I bought a full case of them. I'm going to pack them all.
I think October in New York is kind of like October in Maine. You never know what it's going to be like. It could be 60 degrees and sunny with no wind, or it could be 35 and blowing snow. You just don't know. It's a crapshoot. So that's another thing we provide. We'll actually, it's not quite up there yet, but once we get closer to the event, we actually put up a page under the DIGSTOCK 2021 heading, telling folks what to bring and what to prepare for weather-wise and that type of stuff. Because, again, when you're packing all this stuff, sometimes you forget something, and we like to put this little checklist in there to help people out, too. Because, DIGSTOCK, the main event, we've always kind of geared it towards everybody. So we don't care if you're a brand-new detectorist that has 2 weeks under your belt, or if you're somebody who's been detecting for 40 years. We kind of cater to everybody, and what I love about this big event is it's going to really bring about the best of what we do, about who we are as detectorists. And I saw the last time, and even the first event we did in North Carolina, I love the camaraderie amongst detectorists out in the field. Somebody forgot a shovel. Oh, I got an extra one. Oh, my pinpointer stopped working. Oh, here's some batteries. That's what makes me smile and, keep on doing this. I really just enjoy the camaraderie of it all. I just enjoy seeing everybody working together and finding great finds. And, when somebody finds something, everybody huddles up to see what they found and congratulate them. And, it kind of drives you to keep doing, if you didn't find something great that moment, you're like, oh, that drives me to get out there and hopefully find something myself. Yeah, it's going to be good.
It's going to be awesome. And these type of events, it brings us all together. As that's what I love the most, is a lot of these people that we see, through social media and videos, etc. Like, I got to meet Sonia for the first time. Actually, it was the very first time I met Amanda in person as well. And some of my fans from my YouTube channel, and it was so great getting to put a face with the name. Although I was teasing Sonia, I talked to Sonia for a while today on the phone how old I'm getting. I'm so terrible with names. So if I forget your name, and you just have to refresh my memory, because old age just crept in.
I tell people the same thing. I'm not listen, I'm not a spring chicken either, but I'm also not very old either. But I'll tell you what, my memory is terrible. And I always tell people, I've had a lot of folks come up to me and say, hey, I'm so-and-so. And it clicks in my head. I should know you. I've heard your name. I've seen your picture. But if I forget you, it's not your fault. You're not you're not forgettable. It's just my mind works in mysterious ways, and I can remember what happened at that cellar hole 50 years ago, but I cannot remember somebody's name who told me 3 weeks ago. So it's kind of a curse and a blessing sometimes.
So there was a question in chat. If they pre-ordered tickets in 2020 with the shirt option, will that shirt still be part of that? And then
yes, they will. Yep. Yep.
Okay. And
so
then,
I've got to go ahead.
So if you are rolling tickets over from 2020, because I know this is what I asked, and I did search a site, but perhaps I'm just blind. What do you need to do if you are rolling over your ticket from 2020 and you don't, obviously they haven't talked to you or whatnot? What is the detectors to do?
Yep. Okay. So first of all, we'll be sending out an email to everybody that purchased a ticket in 2020. That'll be coming hopefully by the end of this week. So in the meantime, if you are listening to this, or if you did purchase your ticket early, you can actually, the only thing we need you to do is to actually go to our website, and Amanda can put that back in there for everyone to see. Click on Tickets and Info under the DIGSTOCK 2021 heading, and just scroll down, and all you got to do is fill out a liability waiver, because we actually have your information, and I know a lot of people sent in liability waivers last year. We gave them the option to mail them into us. But this makes it a lot easier for us. So when you fill it out, it goes to a spreadsheet, and it makes it a lot easier for us to keep track of everyone by doing everything digitally and online, all in one, stop and shop. Everything's good to go. That's the reason we did this now. And then the liability waiver is the biggest thing, too. If you bought a ticket in 2020, but you're still coming to the event in 2021, we just need a new liability waiver. So that's basically it. So what we do is, once you buy a ticket, and for anybody that wants to buy a new ticket, it's kind of the same thing. You buy your ticket, you fill out the liability waiver, and what we do is we add you to our master list. And what that does is it puts us, once you get to the event, check-in should be fairly a breeze. I say that, I'm probably setting myself up for something, but we just did it recently at our mini event in North Carolina, and with really good success. So we put you on a master list, and your name is your ticket. So as long as you show up, say, my name is Joe Smith, I find you on the list, Joe Smith, there you are, I cross you off, we give you your goodie bag, and you're on your way. And, we tried to make it a lot more streamlined and easier. So that's it. So if you bought a ticket in 2020, your only thing left to do is to get on our website, fill out a liability waiver, and we'll get you all set up.
Perfect. Thanks.
Awesome. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. Like I said earlier, I didn't even know yet if I was going. I hadn't heard from Garrett. But I know things have been a little slow moving with COVID and everything. But I did get my shot, my vaccine, so I'm ready to travel and
I think everybody. I think everybody's ready for something. We had this. We did this mini event in North Carolina a couple of weeks ago, and we had 275 or 280 folks from across the country come out, and they were great. Everybody was great. I mean, we had to, because COVID is still a big issue, we had to make sure that we were as safe as we could be, So when everybody was grouped up, we said, wear a mask. We even provided people with a mask, hand sanitizer, right in a goodie bag, to kind of help with that a little bit. We had signs up and everything like that. But we're hoping by October things have loosened up even more, and It's easier for us to put on an event of that size without too many restrictions. I mean, we did really, really well. People were very cooperative and awesome. We got some great feedback, and to actually help with all of our events in the future. Some of the things we learned from this small event we did in North Carolina, go towards our events in the future. We had American Digger there, which will also be American Digger magazine, who will also be at our event in October. They'll have a table set up too. I'm not sure if Butch will be there or Allison Cohen, but they'll be set up there. Garrett, we just started reconnecting with all of our big sponsors. So right now, I can tell you for certainty that First Texas, that's Fisher, Bounty Hunter, Technetics, those guys will all be there. We know that Garrett will definitely be there. We can't say who our special guests are yet. Hint, hint, Gypsy, but we don't know yet. But once we get the confirmation from who's going to be there, we'll start announcing that information. But XP will be a sponsor, Nocta Macro, of course. And I'm still trying to get a hold of Debbie Smikowski from Mind Lab. We've been playing phone tag for a couple of weeks, but we'll get there. So hopefully we'll have all the major metal detecting manufacturers as sponsors. This big event is slightly different than what we had in the past. We wanted to really make it an experience for people. So we're going to have vendors this year. So not just we're not going to be selling metal detectors, but Calico is one of our main sponsors. They're going to be on site. Those are great guys and gals down there, and they're going to be having accessories and detectors and pinpointers and shovels and whatever you need. Basically, if you forgot it or you want a new one, those guys should have something on site to satisfy that need. And then we're also hopefully going to have a large relic dealer on site under our big top 10. So that's a big difference from last time, is we're actually going to have a huge big top 10 out in the middle of the field. It's 40 feet wide by 140 feet long. And we're going to have all of our sponsors and all of our, different things set up around it. I think we're going to have 3 or 4 food trucks this year. We're going to have beer just like we did the last time. Everybody enjoyed that. So it's a festival-like atmosphere. If you've never been to an event, this is a fairly affordable event for what you get. We call it a 3.5-day event. It's Friday is our meet and greet. That is October 8th, and that is our meet and greet night, and that's in the evening. We'll have giveaways that night. We might even have a couple of speakers come up and talk. Some of our guests might, have a little session or something. We'll probably have a food truck on site. You can pre-register for the next morning. And then Saturday and Sunday are the main festivities. We have a seated hunt, a big seated hunt. I think right now we've already purchased over $15,000 worth of coins and relics for the seated hunt. And that will be a little bit different than most people are used to. It's going to be over 2 days. So we're going to open it up on Saturday for a couple of hours. There's going to be coins, relics, tokens for prizes in there. All kinds of fun stuff. And then we're only going to have it open for a couple hours. Then we're going to close it up, and we're going to reseed that night with more stuff, whatever we have left. And then on Sunday, if you choose to go to the seated hunt, you can. And if you don't, then you can keep on natural hunting. And that'll be also part of the event. So, and then Monday, we added an extra day from the 2020 event. So it's actually Columbus Day weekend. So it's October 8th through 11th. Amanda, I think that's what you wanted me to make sure it was. We got the dates in.
Perfect. I'm coming on the 7th and staying until the 12th.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. So anyways, the last day, which is Columbus Day, which is a Monday, is a free day. We won't have any of the festivities or anything. All the tents and stuff will start to be picked up and that whatnot that day. But it's a free hunt day. It's a natural hunt day, just like all the other days were. But, if you have that extra gumption to get out there and explore the spots and nooks and crannies of this property that you didn't get a chance to on the 2 other days, this will give you that opportunity if you want to get out there one last time.
Perfect.
Awesome. I can't wait. Yeah. Amanda was telling me the other. Go ahead.
No, you go right ahead.
No, I was just going to talk more about. Amanda and I were talking about it the other day, and she says, "Hey, I booked my room for," and I'm like, I can't even think that far ahead yet. October seems so far away, but it'll creep up on us before you. So.
And I figured,
I just want to
book now. It's cheaper.
Sorry. Yeah, and actually, and we'll say this: we talk to the local hotels usually in May. And we start to get some hotel deals. So I'm sorry, Amanda, but maybe you can figure that out. But we usually talk to the local hotels and get deals on a number of rooms. Everybody stays in and around Plattsburgh, New York, which has probably 10 or 15 really good high-quality hotels, lots of restaurants, little interesting places to see, nice little vibrant downtown, very historic little city. But anyways, We'll push that information out on our Facebook page, which is DIGSTOCK Events. Just put it in the search, you'll find us. And then you can also, all that information, once we start getting that up, will actually also be on our website. And when you go to the, where to stay section, we'll actually have it denoted somehow saying that we have rooms there and the instructions on how to get the discounted room. So we want to make it easy for everybody, and we want everybody to have a great time. And, if we can save you a little bit of money in the process, we'll certainly try and help you do that.
Nice. Yeah, it wasn't bad. And I have, the points and stuff from last year. So
there you go.
Yeah, so that worked out well. Now, I have a question, and it's more so, I think, because it's a pet peeve of mine when I do these hunts. I carried a gigantic backpack last time, and a lot of people, they leave their trash behind. So by the end of one field, I could be carrying like 20 pounds or 30 pounds, or I don't know. One day I was carrying how much. All I know is it basically broke my back. Are there going to be like cans or something near the different fields to dump all that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So like I said, we made a lot of changes. I'm a person that likes to always have my mind on improving things. I don't want to do the same thing twice. If we'll try something one year and if it doesn't work, I have a little notebook that at the end of the last event in 2019, I had my own little notebook and I was writing all these notes down. And as I talked to people, I'd say, hey, what do you think we could change and what could we do better? And, and all these little things that people said to me went into this little notebook. And I do that and I've done this for the last 2 events now, where I do the same thing. As I'm talking to people, I ask, how could we make this better? And we really take those comments and things into account. We really do. So when you see some of these things, we're like, oh man, I wish they had that. Speak up, let us know, because if it's something feasible where we can actually do it, we're definitely going to try and make it work. And one of the things is, we did. So like our mini event, we did something a little different. We had trash drops or iron drops. I guess we called them metal drops. Mm-hmm. And they were just spots where we delineated on the property where people just put it in there, and it was, denoted by caution tape or something. But let me tell you, we went and picked up that the day after, and you're on your hands and knees, all 4 of us organizers on our hands and knees, picking through these piles of stuff, and, there's some goodies in there. You might find a wheat penny here or there, or, a flat button that somebody lost. But let me tell you, it was not worth the effort to do that. So we have cans this year that are going to be at our big event, and they're going to be at several places around the property. Awesome. Something else we're doing is porta potties in strategic locations. Now, there won't be one at every field, but we're going to try and space out a couple of them to the farthest points of the properties. So, You won't have to walk or drive all the way back to the main property to use the bathrooms. But again, you guys is what makes it special, and you guys are what make us keep doing, what we do. I think there's going to be a great article coming out in American Digger magazine by Mr. Butch Holcomb about our event. And he said he's been to a lot of events, but he said the one thing he liked was how well organized we were, and that meant a lot because we really do want to put on a good show, I guess, for everybody. We want everybody to have as good of a time as they can. We can't make everybody happy, as you all know. It doesn't happen every time, but we certainly do our effort to try and, give everybody a good time. And, in those efforts, it seems like at least after our last event, people had a very good time. We had a lot of repeat people coming. So speaking of which, I got to get this out there because if I don't, I'll forget. We're down to 265 tickets. That is all we have left for this event in October. We only have 265 tickets left. So if you want a ticket, get it. Make sure you've got it soon. I don't want to say they're going to sell out very soon because it usually takes almost until the last month before we're done. But we do start to sell a lot quicker the farther we go. And actually, the sooner it sells out, the sooner we'll be able to finalize everything that we've got for the event, our schedule, and everything like that. So 265 tickets, that's all that's left. You can find them right on our website under DIGSTOCK 2021, tickets and info. You could buy one ticket, you can buy 10 tickets if you want, all on that site. We have a limited number of veterans tickets, discounted veterans tickets still available. I don't know the exact number on that, but if you guys if there's veterans out there and you're interested in one of those discounted tickets, make sure you shoot me an email, pete@digstockevents.com, with a copy of your veteran designated driver's license or your DD-214, a copy of it. And that's just to make sure that you are a veteran. We don't want anybody stealing valor. That's a big no-no, and I'm not a big fan of that. So,
yeah, that wouldn't be good.
Well, I know I'm a very big-winded guy, so I'm sorry if I'm taking up too much time.
No, not at all.
No, I'm glad you're covering everything. This is great. Do we have any more questions in chat before we close out? Anybody? If you do, drop it in chat real quick. Is there anything else you want to point out? I know we did have someone ask earlier in chat what the cap was on how many tickets y'all have total, or how many people were going to be there. 600, was it?
Yeah. So we initially had 1,000 last fall. But what we did was we wanted to have a quality over quantity event. So we felt like if we're expecting a good amount of property this year. I won't give the exact number until May is when we're going to give out the exact number after I speak to the farmer again. But I can tell you it'll be 2,000 plus acres. So we wanted to have a quality event over a quantity event. So eventually we'll get back to that 1,000-person number if the site, we want to have a good site for something like that. If it is good enough to hold that many people, we'll put that many people on it. Now, we certainly could hold 1,000 people on this place, but we want everybody to have a really good chance of finding something awesome. We want everybody to have a good time. So it's a quality over quantity thing, especially this year on this property. 600 is the number, and we're down to 265 left.
Great. We had one more question. How much for veterans? What's the discount for the veterans?
Okay, so the veterans ticket, once we give you the discount, it'll be just over $100, approximately. So it's approximately a $50 some odd discount.
Fantastic.
Wow, okay. That's great.
And the information
Well,
for that
I
you
think-
said is on the website, correct? All the tickets and
Yep.
info.
Yeah,
so
actually,
they email you.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's all right there. Actually, if you go right to the tickets and info section, there's like a little disclaimer that says read me first. The information is right on there for regular tickets if you have questions about it, as well as the veterans information. It's got my email address right there. Like I said, just give that little thing at the top that says read me first, read, and you'll have all the information you need, and we can get you set up.
Perfect. All right.
Awesome. Well, y'all be sure and check out the website. Amanda put a link in the comments, and I'll be sure and check that out. And if you have any more questions, sorry, I'm getting choked up here. I'm going to let you go.
We do have one quick one. If you already purchased, Pete, and you didn't submit the veteran, how does that work? Should they just contact you via email?
Yeah, I would say contact me via email. We try to work with folks. If you were a veteran and you purchased a ticket last year and you didn't get the discount, just let me know. We have a limited number of those left, but we'll certainly try and get in as many as we can. And so I can't remember the exact number that we have left of those tickets. I think it's 40 maybe left out of the 265. Maybe it's a little less than that. I can't remember the exact number, but yes, if they'd like to contact me, then we can try and figure something out so they get the discount, because we do appreciate their service. Our charity this year, which we donate to at each of our events, is the Wounded Warrior Foundation. So we'll be writing them a check at our event to give to that charity as well. Sorry.
All right. And it's 193 days to all those who are listening to when DIGSTOCK is.
She's got it down to the day. Soon it'll be to the hour.
Yes. I mean, and that's not, I'll be traveling in 192 days. Yeah, you can't tell I've been locked up for a year.
It's like being in prison, I guess, almost.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you so much, Pete, for coming on and telling us a little bit about yourself. I mean, the tree coin, amazing. And definitely looking forward to seeing you again and digging at DIGSTOCK. So thanks for coming on the show.
I'm so glad you guys had me on.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Pete. Sorry, I'm still getting choked up, y'all. So y'all have a good night. I'm off.
You too.
All right. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and we will catch you next Monday. Stay safe and have a great evening, all. Good night.